Welcome to another episode of Success Blueprint. I'm your host, Scott Hansen, and it's right here on the show that we get the opportunity to interview some of the greatest thought leaders, entrepreneurs, business execs, media professionals, sports athletes, politicians, and everybody in between. People that are doing some really big things, not only in their business, but also in their community. And today it's absolutely no exception. We're sitting with a really dynamic individual, Jenn Dieas. Jenn, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, Scott.
Of course, of course. So I know you're doing some incredible things with your business in the community. You're just doing some awesome things with your company, Glowout. Can you explain to our audience a little bit about what Glowout is and some of the services that you have and maybe the people that you service?
Absolutely. Glowout is basically a one-stop shop for women's beauty basics. So they always get a blowout, their nails done, a tan for a wedding or an event or a special occasion. So we like to house it in one chic space that kind of tickles all their senses in one area, and they're kind of in and out in a little over an hour.
So it's kind of a one-stop shop for a woman who wants to be pampered literally from head to toe.
Exactly. And
Okay.
the other thing that we really love is our decor is kind of designed for them to sit there and then possibly want to leave and redecorate their whole house.
Wow.
So it's
okay.
almost like an inner and an outer kind of glow that's happening every time they come in.
An inner and outer glow.
Yeah.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I was reading the other day in preparation for this interview, I noticed that on your website you have an about section on your page. And I think I was reading and you signed it something like Sincerely Glopra. Sincerely Glopra. You got to explain how you got the moniker Glopra.
Glopra kind of came, my clients, when we do tanning specifically, it's a very intimate environment, it's a very high touch situation, and we're a lot of times kind of solving people's problems in that room. They're bare and they're bare.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we're kind of going through whatever they need to tweak in their life emotionally as well as the physical aspect of the tanning. So I'd be giving advice and we're going back and forth, and that kind of would lead to emails or texts or phone calls, just kind of trying to coach them through their life. And Oprah being one of my all-time favorite mentors, even though she doesn't know it, but I love her. It kind of stuck. They're like, you're kind of Glopra. I was like, I am, and I love her.
Oh, okay.
So perfect. It kind of worked and it stuck, and I dig it.
So if Oprah is watching the show, what would you say to her?
Hey, girl.
Hey,
Keep
girl,
it up.
keep it up.
I love her. I love
She's
her.
probably going to say the same thing to you. Hey, girl, keep it up.
Probably.
Yeah, of course.
She's a rock star. She probably would do that.
So I know that at one time you really have an incredible story. At one time you were homeless. What's it like to go from being homeless to now having your brand literally in the magazine of Allure and 17? That must be incredible.
It really is. You know, those were magazines that I died for when I was young. I would go to the grocery store and look at those magazines. I wouldn't always get to buy them, but then, you know, as I got older, sometimes I'd get to buy them. So the first time we were featured in something big like that, it was like my inner girl moment. Like,
Sure.
oh my God. Yes.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's a major deal. I love it.
So how did you first learn that you were in one of these magazines? Did someone point it out? Did you?
You know, I didn't even know they had come in. Like, Allure had come in, and I didn't know for months. So, and I still don't actually really know what that client was.
Right.
But they were just coming in as a regular client to kind of see what our service was. And then 6 months later, someone's like, congratulations, you're in Allure. I'm like, what? I went and bought them all for my family.
Sure.
Everybody got a copy.
Sure.
Yeah, it was an incredible experience.
So when you're in a magazine with such a high profile like 17 or Allure, I would imagine that just elevates and escalates the brand pretty quickly.
It really does. It gives you a lot of legitimacy for what you're doing and a lot of backing, especially we're a word of mouth business. So we're kind of grassroots from the street business. So that really gave us a lot of kind of amp to what we're doing.
I will admit that I have had a few spray tans.
I knew it.
Of course, of
Knew
course.
it.
It was, you know, I had a wedding one time and I wanted to get that golden brown, so I did get a spray tan. But I've also went into other salons, which will remain nameless.
Okay.
And I've gotten some bad ones or kind of that orange looking. How is Glowout different than some of these other studios or some of these other tanning salons where, you know, I did get orange, or some people say, man, I would never do that again because I smell
Absolutely.
and I look orange.
Yeah. It's really the quality of your ingredients that you're using and the technique that you're using. So I've developed my own technique over the years that will really alleviate any of those problems. And we give clients a full access to all of our preparation instructions that will alleviate that. It's actually not that hard to do, which is so frustrating because I'm like, this could be so much better.
Okay.
It's very easy to kind of alleviate that and to not have that happen.
So when that happens, though, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Because I think that it would be a bad thing because it gives maybe your industry a bad name, but it's also a good thing because you're saying, hey, if you want a real good spray tan, come over by us.
Exactly. And one of the things a couple of my industry peers and I are doing is creating a spray tanning association so that there's more of a platform for education and science and everything that we're doing so that people can go and have more opportunities to go to really high skilled technique and technicians. So
is that what I read something about Golden Girl University?
No, that's my own training program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Explain more about what that is.
That over the years, people would say, hey, I really want to learn tanning. I love what you're doing. I really want to learn. I really want to learn. And over time, I'm like, okay, I just need to put this into a curriculum and give people access to what I'm doing. So now we've had the university up for a little over a year, probably a year and a half or so. And we've gotten to train technicians all over the country. We're looking to kind of branch that even further and offer high-level education for spray tanning, which isn't really happening in our industry right now. There's just a few companies, so we want to really be able to branch out and offer that to a lot more people that want to get into the industry.
Good for you. That's incredible. And I know you're doing some incredible things as well. You're also expanding. You're expanding from the Midwest over to South Carolina.
Yep, we're spreading the glow.
Spreading the glow, she said. Spreading the glow. Glowpra is spreading the glow.
We're spreading the glow.
So tell us a little bit about that and how that's going and when will that actually open?
You know our next location, it's in Columbia, South Carolina, in the capital. Big Gamecocks country, so it's a huge deal.
Right.
Everybody down there is really excited. We've been working on it for like a year. So it's finally getting ready to launch at the end of this month. So we're super excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you. The build-out's actually looking like a space, so that's really exciting versus just being drywall. And Columbia's hungry and they're ready. The South, they love big hair and tans, so they're ready to glow.
Big hair and tans, awesome.
Yeah, they're ready.
On the show, we talk to, obviously, individuals like yourself, people that are playing big, entrepreneurs, execs who have started out with a concept, and now they're taking their concept, they're developing a brand, they're expanding like you. Take us back to a time when you actually first started out. You told me a story on the way over, which I think bears repeating, which is such an entrepreneurial hunger, which I loved, which was you did whatever it took, whenever it took to really develop your brand and develop your company. Can you share that moment with our audience? And it's the one where you had sort of a boot on your foot.
We're talking about the boot. Okay,
talking about the boot,
good.
yeah.
When I started my tanning brand, I went door to door in Chicago from word of mouth referrals. So you would tell your friend would call me. And there was a time where I broke my foot. And I would go on the bus and the train because I didn't have a car and I didn't have money for a car. So I was like, oh, that's not an option. I'm not doing that. So I would go on the bus and the train. So I had my big tanning bag, my tent here, my rolling suitcase, and my boot. 5 o'clock on the train when everybody's packed in like sardines. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Sorry about my bag.
Yeah.
And I would get in because I had to still work. I had to still make money. I didn't have an option to stop. And the momentum for my business was still rolling. And people actually loved it. It wasn't the most fun for me because it was actually painful, but people loved it. And I can really say that it was like heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears that I put into my business. I did the door-to-door business for like 3.5 years before I ever had a space. I would pop up everywhere. I was literally like a pop-up tanner everywhere in the city.
And living in Chicago, as we all know, the weather is pretty terrible.
Yes.
So I would imagine you're on this bus with a boot, with all your gear, and it's December, January, or February.
And I'm in my Target Uggs because I would not pay full price to get like real snowshoes.
Right.
So I'm basically in wet shoes all day long, which I wouldn't recommend. I would say if you're doing any kind of mobile business in the city, get some good winter boots because that's something that I look back on. I'm like, I could have not been wet every day having wet feet, but it was what I had to do to get it done. So I did it.
Yeah, and I love that. You did whatever it took to get it done, no matter what, how cold it was, how warm it was, how hot it was, how rainy it was. You made it happen no matter what. And I think that's the mark of a true successful entrepreneurial or a true successful entrepreneur or business exec is really, no matter what life throws at you, you're going to continue to go after your goals and your dreams.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's just what you have to do, I think.
That's awesome. Yeah. So what is with the fascination of women, again, I'm probably not your target audience per se, but the fascination of women always wanting to get their nails done, their hair done, spray tanning done, makeup, buying shoes, since the beginning of time. What's the fascination of always wanting to look good or smell good or whatever?
I'm going to give you the secret right now.
I need to know the secret, yes.
It's actually more about, and this is something we've tapped into with Glowout, it's more about connecting with their friends. So
social.
we've created, it's the social aspect because women are driving kids to school, they're going to work, they're partners in law firms, they're doctors, they have husbands, they're mothers. They have so much going on that carving out just a little bit of time for themselves will really recharge them and get them ready to go back into the world and face their day. So what we love to do is not only recharge them, but give them that girl time that they don't get to have. And they kind of go back home a little happier. I have husbands like you calling me all the time. Can you get my wife in? Her and her friend need to get in. Absolutely. We'll make it happen.
So are the husbands calling you so that their wives look great, or is it more they want to get them away from them so they can have some girl time with their friends?
I almost think that the aesthetic outcome is secondary to what the emotional outcome is for me. I almost think that yes, they're gonna walk out with gray hair, amazing. It's gonna last a couple of days, perfect. Shave some time off of their day, which is super important. With the tan, you always feel better when you look a little tan. So that helps everybody. You feel skinnier, you feel better. With the nails, if you feel more polished, then that's amazing too. But them getting to just take a break and take a breather is, I think, more important than the actual, secondary to the actual beauty service.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never thought of it like that, but that makes a lot of sense.
Think about your grandmothers or our mothers back in the day. They went to go get a wash and set.
Sure.
A blow dry is no different. It's the exact same thing. It's just worded a little bit differently.
Okay.
But that's what they went. They went to go talk smack with their girls and kind of catch up and gossip.
Is this sort of like us guys going to the barbershop?
Yes. That's the exact thing we're trying to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to just shift gears and end with, I know you have a little treat for our audience here at Success Blueprint.
I do.
Can you share that treat? This is a first here on the show. Can you share what you are willing to offer our audience?
Well, your audience is going to have to come and see. So if you mention Success Blueprint, we will definitely give you something super special.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? Thank you very much. So if I'm hearing you correctly, they will show, which you're going to share in a minute, where you're located and how to get in touch with you and all that. But so they can come into your salon, your studio, and mention Success Blueprint, and they will get some sort of a discount or some sort of a special.
Something special for sure.
Something special.
Yeah.
It's a first here on Success Blueprint, so thank you.
Of course. My pleasure.
This has been incredible. So where can someone find out more about you or more about your business?
You can follow me on Instagram. It's at Glopra. Really easy. Oprah, but with Globe in front of it. Glowout Salons is also on Instagram. Glowoutsalon.com. We're kind of all over the social media platforms.
Perfect. Okay. And do you have a personal Twitter handle, or do you want people just to go to Glowout?
Glopra.
Glopra. Of course, Glopra.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Yeah. Tweet at me.
Tweet at her. Okay, good. Well, this has been another incredible episode of Success Blueprint. If you want to get in touch with me, Scott, you can also hit me up on Twitter, which is at ScottHansen1210, at ScottHansen1210. So go out, make it a great day, because you absolutely deserve it. Take care.